Usually takes about 30 days from when it receives a complaint to reach a resolution. And veterans who believe their account has been compromised are being asked to call 1-800-827-1000. Back to you.
Ken, thank you. First Coast News is learning more about how 7 activists, including a 78-year-old former nun, got onto a secure military base in South Georgia. Court proceedings today in Camden County reveal the Kings Bay Plowshares activists were caught with bolt cutters, and an affidavit says they destroyed the perimeter security fence. Well, today a judge denied their bond. A source familiar with the activists tells us that a person can easily enter the base from the North Causeway Road or the golf course. According to the Navy's website, the base houses 6 ballistic missiles and 2 guided missile submarines. Hours before making their way inside, the activists shared this video.
Pope Francis said, "The threat of their use as well as their very possession is to be firmly condemned."
A base spokesperson says it does not discuss security capabilities now or at any time, and says no submarine or military asset was ever threatened by those activists.
A bomb threat at the Chick-fil-A inside Baptist Hospital today turned out to be a hoax. An unknown person called the restaurant and made a threat that people will, quote, self-destruct. About 200 people were evacuated, including the restaurant and the building next to it. A search was conducted and nothing was found. Now we move to some breaking news right now, and really you could say this is a bombshell. In the ongoing dispute over the potential sale of JEA, the CEO of JEA, Paul McElroy, has turned down a contract extension, saying it is time now for different leadership.
At a special meeting this afternoon, the JEA board accepted McElroy's resignation and voted in CFO Melissa Dykes as the interim CEO. This comes just one day after McElroy testified for the second time in a transparency probe by City Council on the potential sale of the public utility company. Let's go to Julia Janae, who joins us live from downtown. And Julia, did this development come as a surprise?
Anthony, the chairman of the board, said that this was not expected, that he didn't want McElroy to resign, but he said, quote, in light of all of the interrogation McElroy has been subjected to, that it shouldn't surprise anyone. Now, Chairman Alan Howard, he said that after the announcement that he does expect some challenges in finding a qualified CEO, with talks of selling JEA still ongoing. He said that any potential candidate would have to consider that their term could be very short. Now, Howard also answered questions about whether or not this resignation was a way to avoid scrutiny over whether there were missteps in how JEA's potential sale has been handled. He denies that that is the case.
There's nothing to cover up at JEA. Our successes are well documented. Paul's been responsible, together with his senior team and the entire JEA family, for those successes. And why would you criticize someone after serving for 40 years, 6 years as CEO, for wanting to say, I've had a good time, but now it's time for me to move on?
Now, here's a portion of Paul McElroy's announcement today that he made. He said it is important to recognize that all large organizations move in cycles which require different leadership strengths and styles. The path forward for JEA, at least for the next period of time, calls for a different set of leadership skills, not better or worse, just different. Now, the next board meeting will be April 17th, where they will discuss how they move forward in voting and selecting that next candidate. Now, while this was all going on, our Shelby Danielson was actually in an interview with Mayor Lenny Curry, and you actually asked him those questions. How did he react to this news?
Yeah, we were actually in that interview as this was unfolding, and we had actually just wrapped up. Now, he didn't want to comment on the resignation on camera, but he said that it was unexpected. He wasn't expecting this today. His chief of staff, Brian Hughes, mentioned that he wasn't as surprised. He said maybe those city council special committee hearings over JEA may be part of this. You may recall that Paul McElroy has been called before them several times. They even served him with a subpoena and asked him to be under oath. And last week he showed up with 22,000 pages after requested information on JEA. So we won't know if that actually played a factor or not at this point, but the mayor